Hello, welcome to another Elementor custom design tutorial. Today, I'm going to teach us how to create a header like this, simple header in Elementor. And in the next tutorial, we're going to learn how to create a little more complex header like this with a flyout menu. And after that, we are going to be learning how to create different header for different pages in the same website. So the essence of having different header for different pages in the same website is, for instance, we have this as a transparent header, which we'll be learning in subsequent design. And this transparent header, when you scroll down, we are going to have a color over it, and after quite a little time of scrolling, it will disappear. So it will give space for users to actually enjoy the website. And when the user tries to scroll up a little, it appears again, and scroll down a little, it disappears. And when they scroll back to the header, the hero section, it disappears and have the transparent menu. The same header we are going to use in achieving this and very beautiful header menu. Okay, so this will be in our next tutorial, but for today we are going to start from scratch. So I will teach you all the basic things you need to understand about making a menu and making a header nav bar for your website in Elementor. Okay, and by the way, if you are not understand, if you don't know before now, we have a course on web design, UI and UX in web design. We teach you everything you need to know, starting from how to actually make your wireframe, site mapping, prototyping, and all of that, get into hosting, domain, connecting your WP, installing plugins, and so on. Everything is in this course. And we teach actually two plugins. We teach you how to use Oxygen Builder, and also teach you how to use Elementor Page Builder. These two tools will be providing you with the passive license on to actually practice with. You're not going to purchase licenses for this, and also providing you a subdomain to practice with. You don't need to buy hosting and a domain name. No, you don't need to buy all those things. We provide you all you need to do was pay your fee, get a good internet connection, and get your PC. Then you can start learning. And we have a private classes where we do weekly challenges or monthly challenges, as the cases may be, based on my free time. But everything you need to learn is in this course. You don't need any extra moral class, but we still hold extra moral classes for students. So everything you need is in this course, and at the end, you get your certificate. You can go check it out. The link will be provided in the description below. Let's get back to work. So we are going to be creating this very quickly, okay? But I'm going to show you very important things. And by the way, if you're wondering how we have my image at the top side and all these icons at the top side, it's called favicon. I'll be providing you the favicon link, tutorial on favicon link, which we created some months ago, so you can follow that up and also learn how to add favicon to your website. It's important so people can easily get to the navigation based on the icon they see available. And also made a tutorial on how to create a logo type like this. So you'll be seeing that link in the description too, on how to create a logo and the different logo for different sizing. You know, they have different logos and for different purposes. For instance, if you search for BBB website, you're going to see something different from the logo we have existing right here. Okay, so you notice that the logo in that one is circular logo, and if you plug it in here, it will be too large for the website. For instance, see what we have from here. Okay, it's too wide, and plugging it in here will make the header larger enough. And I also teach you how to create this kind of menu and also responsive menu. If you inspect it, you see how responsive it is, and everything is sleek. So this is instances, and I actually broke this down in that tutorial for logos for websites. I thought that I'll be providing the link in the description. Go watch that also before you continue with this lesson. So let's get back to work. So now, first thing you need to know or need to do before you start creating a header in a website or a menu in a website is to make sure you have pages. You must have pages. Like you can create home page, about us page, contact us page, and all of those pages. To create a page is very easy. Click on this and add new page. Okay, when you click on that to add new page, you just fill in the name of the page you want to add, and once the name is available, you can publish it and go back, create a new page. So you can come over here, click create home page, usually capital letter the first. You can just call it home, then hover over here and click on publish. Click on publish once and then click on publish the second time. You see the publish again, click on it the second time. But if you want to start designing immediately, you can just click on edit with Elementor. Once you're done, you can proceed. Now, when you want to create multiple pages so that you can create a menu before you start building a website, just click on publish, then add new page, click on publish, add new page, click on publish. Once you create as much pages as possible, all of them will be populated in this particular menu. So this is the page, I'll call it, or page area. So this is what houses every page you are going to be creating in this website. Pages are different from templates. We are going to be coming to template when we're talking about the header. But this is what houses all the pages: about us page, home page, contact us page, frequently asked question page, and so on. Now we have all these pages. The next thing is for us to create our menu. So to create a menu, what you need to do is to hover over appearance and click on menu. So now we get to the menu. As you can see, we already have existing menus here based on the condition I added for the menu, but we want to create a fresh menu, just a new menu. To create a new menu, click on this create new menu. If you actually don't have a menu, you will see the option to actually fill in the name of the menu. It's very easy. But for now, we have a menu existing. We want to create a new menu. Tap there and then we type new menu. We call this new menu because we are going to be using this in a little while. So we click on create first, okay, before we start adding the menu. So now we've created that menu, we can now click on save. Okay, fine. So now we have our menu. We can now select the content we want from here. This is where people find it difficult to do. Okay, but don't just select on most recent. Click on view all so I can see all of the pages available in that website. Once you do, select on the home. We can select on the about us page. We can select on the brand page, logo page, maintenance page, shop station. No, let's leave this team and website. So we add in these menus. You see all of them populate in this menu section. Just a moment. You see? So we now have our menus here. Now you want a menu to have a sub menu like this. You see this one is called sub menu. What you do, this one now is the menu. This one now is a sub menu. And this one is a sub menu. So we want a menu to have a sub menu like this. What we need to do is to drag in that menu under the menu we want it to have a sub menu under. So for instance, this brand, we want this brand to be in services, but we don't have services option here. What do? We have to create a manual menu, and you do that from custom link. So now the difference between this menu we are creating and the ones we have just added is that the ones we have just added are pages, but the one we are just adding now is a custom link. We can even put a link from Facebook there. Any link we want, but for this one we are not going to be adding link because we don't want it to be clickable. We want to be a hover state. So all we need to do is to add a hash sign right in here. Okay, then the link text is, what name do we want to give the link text? We want to call this services. Okay, now we add our menu. Okay, it will be added below here. Now we want to drag it up. We want it to be the next thing after the home. Now watch, when we are dragging, we see some options that are some lines around that is kind of stroked, a kind of line, dotted lines. So that's sure, I'm going to show you what that means in a little while. But first, let's drop our line. So now we have services under here. Then we want to add I want to add brand, logo, and maintenance and website under services. How do we do that? This is where the other tutorial comes in. So when you drag in an element to the bottom side, drag it as if you are dragging it to the right. It will now push itself to the right. It will show you that sign, that option sign, to push to the itself to the left. Okay, you see, it's easy for us to actually drag around. You see, so we have maintenance and we have logo also there. Then these are sub menus. All these are sub menus. For instance, we want to add maintenance on that website. What we do, drag maintenance on that website and make sure it stays. Just drag it as if you are dragging it to the right side. Allow it. And you see, now we have homepage, we have services, we have sub menu web design, brand and logo design, and under web design we have maintenance, which is the sub menu. So this is the parent menu, this is the child menu, and this is the child menu, like grandchild. Okay, so that's how to do it. If you want to actually add a custom link here, Facebook link, you can add it, plug it here so people can click on it. It will take them, or maybe a link to another website. Anything you want to do, you can do that from here. If it's an e-commerce, you can add categories link and all of that from here, but that's not the tutorial for today. So we have created our menu. All you need to do again now is click on save. Now this is the most important thing you need to do. If you don't do so, when you try to create your menu, add your menu element, you will not be able to see any menu elements. So we have done that. Let's get into create our menu in Elementor. So what you need to do is to hover, but make sure you have Elementor Pro before you can be able to create a menu. Okay. So what you need to do is to what? You hover over, and by the way, provide that for our students who actually get into our courses. You get Elementor Professional Version license, so you can actually practice your or exercise your expertise as a web designer without restrictions. So now the next thing we need to do is to start creating our menu. To create a menu, make sure you scroll down to you find Elementor, and under Elementor you see templates. That's what you need to click. So click on team builder. Just click on that. So after we are done creating our menu, we click on team builder. So now it will link us to this particular page where we have already created, these are already created templates. Here is the template area. Template is different from a page. Template is a reusable element that can appear in multiple places without having constraints. But a page is actually static. It's only there that you created it. I have tutorial on templates and pages. I'm going to make that available possibly in the link in the description. So now we have this. We need to create a new header. We have our old header. So let's create a new header. To create a new header, just click on the plus button close to header. Just click on that. And here we will be carried into Elementor page builder so that we can start building our header. Now, when we finish building our header, we can now condition the header to be wherever we want it to be. Now, when you actually create a header for the first time, it will bring you multiple options of already made or pre-made headers. These are templates. I'll call these blocks, which you can use as header. You can actually insert this. If you want to preview it, just click on the plus icon in the middle. This is how it looks like. We are going to be starting from scratch, so I can have total control of what we are doing. So close this down and we can proceed with our design. So the first thing we need to do here is to add in our section, and we start building from there. Okay, so now the first thing, add in a container over here, and that is our first section. And what we need to do here is to make it a full width and make it 100%. We are good to go. Okay, that's the section, the first section. Second thing I will advise you to do is to add in another section, then add in all your element there. But for this practice, I understand what I'm doing, so it's easier for me. So what I need to do, add in another section, make the width full width, and this particular section we are going to duplicate it into 2 because we're going to have a menu by the right and then the logo by the left. But if you want anything in the middle, you have to duplicate this into 3. So we have this select on the header, and we have to align this horizontally so that the menu will cluster 1 and 2. You get the point. So now we have that. The next thing we need to do is start tossing out in our content. Some people will proceed to using the site logo here. No, I will not advise that. Just use image so I can have total control of what you're doing. Use image for this area. And from this, let's just add in our logo immediately without wasting time. I think it's over here. This is our logo over here. Okay, you can't see it because it's white color. I actually taught this on that particular other tutorial. So we toss our logo in, and this is our logo over here. Then the first thing you need to do is to go to width and make sure it is full width. Go to content and make sure the size is full. And then go to this is full width, leave it at that. Then go over to here, advanced, and make sure the width is set to custom. And in the custom, we can now select whatever size we want to give the image. I thought about this in our past tutorial. Now we are done with that. This particular content we want it to be in the middle. So what we do is select on that section guiding the menu, because this is at the top. We want everything to be in the middle. Click it to be in the middle, and do the same thing with this one so we don't do it again in the future. Make sure everything is in the middle, even though we can't see it. The next thing we need to do is to toss in our menu over here. Okay, why the size is not smaller is because we have not added any elements here. So this particular section is assuming, this particular container is assuming a particular size we didn't give to it. So WordPress menu from here, just drag it into this place, and you see everything clusters. You see, everything clusters to maintain the size we have. Now, it will automatically assign itself to the new menu we have. But if you don't have any menu, you will not see anything. So this is the primary menu, which is the one we actually created for the main website. This is the one I'm using currently. As you can see, we have sub menu and all of that. But let's use the one we created for this. To assign that, you need to go over to here that says menu and click on new menu. So we have added that menu automatically from here. The next thing we need to do is now style our work. Select on this element. Make sure you push everything to the left. To the right, I mean, okay, just as this also is at the left. So we have the menus from there. The next thing, let's see what we have from here. Everything is okay from here. The next thing we may need to add is a button. So let's add a button immediately. So we click on this and we scroll down till you find a button. I just want to show you because this one is a little bit complex for people to do. So I want to show you with this one so you understand. So we added a button here, and we want the button also to align to the left. We can align it from here. But we want this particular content to actually close up from here. Select on the container guiding the two of them and then align everything to horizontal. Perfect. We are good to go. So now we are good to go with that. We have to push everything to the left. Everything to the left, not in the center. So we have to use this particular area. Look at here, this particular one over here, to push everything to the... No, remember we pushed this particular element to the left, right, because we actually align itself. But since we have two contents, it will not respect the alignment of this one. It will respect the alignment of the container guiding everything. So we push everything to the left from like this. And we have our button and the element from there. We can go in here, change the text color to black because that's what it's supposed to be. And we can style our button there any way we want it to be. We want it to curve, just use the border radius to curve it as we want. Okay, want a hover effect, click on that. The color of the hover effect, we want the color to be yellow and the text color to maintain black. So when we hover on it, it becomes yellow and the other one maintains. So we have our logo from here. We need to assign the logo a link. So when people click on the logo, it will have a link. Because click on this and click on custom link, then it puts your home page. Just type on home over here. It will automatically populate and you select a home. Or if you know your link, just fix it in there. So we are done with that. Our menu, you need to style our menu a little more. So first of all, go over to styling. Let's check our navigation area and see if there's anything we need to do from here. Over here, animation is on fade. Pointer underline, we don't want any pointer, we want everything to be like, we don't want any underline. I see, very simple like that. But before then we had an underline. Remove that underline, we don't want it. Breakpoint means what breakpoint will it get to before it turns to a mobile menu, a hamburger menu. So I'm going to come to that when we start doing our responsiveness. Full width, leave it as it is. Text alignment aside and toggle hamburger. We are good to go with this one. Here you can change the icon of the hamburger by applying your own hamburger from here. Find the hamburger, or if you have an SVG file of hamburger, you can actually find it here. Like I have an SVG I downloaded, so I can apply the SVG hamburger for this one is for the main menu, okay, when it is on mobile menu. Then we want it when it is active. What hamburger icon do we use? We still select an SVG. Active means when you have clicked it. So we want this X1 to show when we have clicked the hamburger menu. I'm going to show you what that means in a little while. And by the way, if you want to get a hamburger menu yourself, you can click on the link I'll be providing in the description below, or you go over to this link, flaticon.com. Let me zoom closer so you can see /icon-fonts-most-downloaded. So you're going to find many hamburger here. Just type in hamburger here or menu here. You're going to find menu you can use from here. Select on the one you want and save it as SVG. For instance, you want to download this one. Click on it and download, save it as SVG, and you're good to go. So we are good to go from there. The next thing we need to do now is to style our work. We have our logo and we have our menu. Let's style our menu a little. We are not going to do much of styling from here. So click on it. First thing you need to do is to select a text color. We want this to be white because we want everything to be very bright. And on hover, we want the color to be our brand color. That is good. And when it is active, we want it to still be on our brand color, which means if we click on home and we are on home, it will show this color on home. You get the point. So that's good. We can change our typography to Poppins, which is our favorite typography. By the way, I'll be teaching you a tutorial on how to do a global font so that you don't need to start changing fonts every now and then. And in the font area, we can select a size. Always select a size for your font menu. And the width, make it 500, 600, it's too much. Transform everything, leave it as it is. Align height, text spacing. If you want to space your letter spacing, just use this to space. Letter spacing means you want to space the letter one after the other. So, but we like it the way it is. It's very subtle and we are good to go. So that's the first layer of settings we can do here. The padding for horizontal padding is the padding we give to the elements between themselves. As you can see, the spacing we give between the elements, okay? So we can do a horizontal padding of whatever size we want, that is okay. Then vertical padding is when we hover on these particular elements from here. Vertical padding, you can constrain it to match to the middle of what we want, and we are good to go. Remember, we need to change the menu of this subtext. This is not the font we actually switched to. And we also have to increase the size of the font to match the size of the font we use here. So the size we use here is 16, and make sure you have that in mind. Okay? So now we are done with that. We need to divider. If you enable divider, you see lines between these elements as we have. So I like that divider like that. As you enable the divider, you can make the divider dotted or solid or whatever size you want it to be. The width, you can enable the width, increase the thickness of the divider or reduce the thickness of the divider to whatever you want. The height, you can increase it or decrease it to whatever you want. Okay, very subtle. And then you can change the divider color if you want from here. And we are good to go. So, but that's too much. Let's reduce opacity to like almost white. I think this is okay. Fine. So now the horizontal padding and vertical padding, we have done that. The next thing is the drop down. Let's click on that. The drop down now is we are now talking about this one. Okay. So first thing we need to do that is change the typography to Poppins again. Okay. Then we come over here, we change the font size to 17 as we have from the other menu. You see, everything is now working out very well. But now you see when we hover on this, it's not on brand. What do we do from here? On the drop down on normal color, we want the normal color text, normal text color to be black as it is. So we set it to black. Then we want the background color on normal. All these things that we're going to show here, what color do you want it to be? We want the background color to be black. If we want it to be black, then we select on black. Just what happens is black all through. We can't even see what we are doing from there. So for this case, I would like us to make the background, if the background is black, no, let's not make the background black. Let's make the background the color of our brand. Okay, very good, like this. Then let's make the hover background color to be black. Okay, so on hover, the background color should also be black. So watch what happens. When we hover, the background color is now black. But now the background color is black, the text color we have to change to white. So we have to go to text color and we make it white. Or even the color of our brand. Very good. So now we've done that, you see, we're having a good styling. I think this is okay for what we want. And the thing still applies to the other ones. So we are good with the basic things we need to do from here. Typography still remains the same. Active color, we want the active color to be, text color should be white. Okay, and the background color should be, I think this color is good. So fine. So we are done with the basic of the colors we need to do. Typography still remains the same for all of them. So border type is on default. We can make it solid and we don't need the border type. Leave the border radius. Talking about the curving. I didn't curve around this if you have a background color for all of this. So that's not necessary. Box shadow, leave it as it is. Horizontal padding. Horizontal padding, remember we are talking about the menu from here. Horizontal padding, let's see what that really entails. So when you scroll over there, you see we have enough spacing from the element itself. It's having enough padding around it. If we increase it the more, just watch what happens. You see we have enough spacing between those elements. So horizontal padding, keep it on a minimal, like this is okay, so it can contain all the text we have there. Then the vertical padding, we give padding to the text container. So let's increase the padding a little more. You see, we're having too much of padding from here. So we reduce that a little more. As you're doing, make sure you're checking your work and we are good to go with that. The divider, leave it at default. The distance between the contents. Now, the distance between this means the distance between this and the menu. Now, I want it to be distance from the menu we have from here, the bottom part of this menu. This one that is showing pink over here that I'm pointing at now. So what do? We go to distance and we make sure we select on it and we space the distance a little. Just watch what happens. You see, the menu starts from here instead of starting from this area. So we reduce it. We want it to start immediately after that particular menu. So we increase it just a little tiny and we are good to go. See, it starts from that pointed line and that is what we want. Okay, so we are done with that. The next thing we need to do here, we are done with styling for the menu. Next thing we need to do is the styling for the toggle button. This is where mobile menu starts coming in. But now, before we get to that, this one, let's make the responsiveness. So we get to this particular part, everything is looking very good. Get to this part, everything is almost looking very good except for this one. So what do we do here? What we do here is very simple. We select on this menu. Since it is 100% width, we need to give it a percentage here and we give it a size of, let's give it a size of 30 since the logo is very small. And then we select on the logo itself. And we are going to give the logo a custom size of about, let's give it a custom size in percentage, not in pixels. Custom size of about, just whatever size that matches what you think is okay for you. So since you have reduced the size of this one, automatically this one will assume the rest of the spacing. Or you can just assign the rest of the spacing like we did this 30%, this one automatically should be 70%. You can even do this from while you are starting up the website, like from the main menu, you can do this from the main menu. But if you don't want, you can just do it like this. So you are doing it. So we have the menu stretched out. We set on this and we see that the menu has converted to a hamburger menu. So this is because when we select on the menu, let me show you why that is like that. Select and go to content. You see this part that says breakpoint. This particular breakpoint is tablet portrait and we are on tablet portrait. So it breaks on tablet portrait. But when we get to tablet landscape, it will automatically, if we select on tablet landscape, it will automatically only assign that menu when we are in this particular one, this landscape. But we want it to apply on only mobile landscape and mobile portrait. So we start from here and you see automatically we have our menu on our tablet portraits. If we also want it to apply only on mobile portraits, just do it here, which is my best practice, so that we can only have that mobile menu on mobile portraits. On mobile landscape, we can also see our menu very well because our menu is not too much. But when you have about 7 menu, make sure the breakpoint starts at tablet landscape because most times it will not contain. Okay? So once we are done with that, that's the best thing we need to do. We have our responsiveness. We get to the mobile and we see that everything scatters here. Very, very scattered. Why? Because we need to do some more settings from here. some more advanced settings from here we need to do. So we select on this one. This is where people get it difficult in making their responsiveness. Select on this one and we give it a size of 30%. And we select on the logo. Remember, whenever you are resizing an element, it's also resizing the content side, because the content side is seeing that element you resize, or that particular container you resize as 100%. So whatever percentage you give to it, it's going to obey that percentage no matter the size of that particular element. So from here, we have to increase the logo a little more. And in this one, we want to remove all of the padding around that particular content so that the logo can shine a little more. And we are good to go. We also remove all of the padding from this one on mobile menu. Why we are removing the padding? Because we want more space. Okay? We want more space. So now we have done that. The next thing we need to do, since we had applied, how many sizes did we give to this one? We gave it a size of 30. So we are going to give this one a size, now size, because it doesn't have a size. That's why it's full width. It's 100%. So since we give this size a 30, let's give this size a 50. You see, it's collapsing, and we can just give it a size of 60, which is perfect. So perfectly fine. And this particular one is having an issue because it can't contain itself with this particular icon. There are two things we can do. If you have too many content in your header and you don't know how to control them, you can select on any one that is not important, go to advanced and go to responsiveness and hide it. So since we have it, if you hide it here, this will automatically show. But you can't see how to style your thing because you don't even know what you are styling anymore, because this is still here even though it's hidden on plain sight. Okay, so what you do in that case is select on the structure panel, hover on the button and make sure you hide it from here. Automatically this is going to collapse and will give us the space to do what we want to do. But when you are done with your work, unhide this, because if it is still hidden, it will not show in the previous breakpoint. You get the point? So unhide it whenever you are done, then you know that it is hidden by default on the responsiveness, which will hide it in the main menu, but it is not hidden from other menus. I hope you understand what we just did. Bah? Fine, but we're not going to do this. We want to do our responsiveness. I just show you that so that in case you run into issues where you have too many menus or too many stuffs going around. So for this one over here, we want to select on the element on the default area. It is given a percentage. We want to give it not an inline. Let's give it a custom size. And in custom size, we want to give it a percentage. Okay, then we reduce the size. You see what I'm doing? Let's even change the color of the menu so that we don't have issues. Okay, scroll down, get to toggle, and the color of the toggle, we want to give it white color. Okay, so I will see what we are doing. And the size of the toggle, we want to increase it a little more, like this is okay. And you see this menu, the content here now is not center aligned anymore. Let's see why that is happening. Let's select on the menu guiding everything and see if everything is center. Everything is not center aligned. Center align it and middle align it, but this one is still having issue. So to solve this problem, select on this. Let's go to this area and let's give it a margin bottom minus. Okay, that's how I solve these problems, because in most cases that's what happens with menu. Sorry to say that, that's what happens originally to menu. So select on the menu guiding everything like this menu and make sure everything is in the middle like this. And this one is also centered, fine. So that we have the same gap we have from here is still the same gap we have from here. Now from there, we can now set whatever size we want for the left and right. So since it's 100%, we want to give it a 95% so that I can constrain that element so that our space will be more and we can enjoy our work. So if you notice, you might have this problem in the menu while you are building. When you are done building your menu, responding it, making everything perfect, then you click on the menu, boom, you find something like this. So to solve this problem is very easy. You don't need any CSS code. All you need to do is select on the menu element and go over to content area, go to this place you see the full width and enable the full width for the menu. Okay, see, when we enable it, we have a problem where this thing clusters the way we don't want. So go back to advanced menu, that place we enable, style that thing, we need to go over there and adjust it till it matches what we want. So now we click the menu, we have a full width like this, which is very sweet. We click on this, we see the drop down applies. So this is very simple. There's no big deal in creating a menu. Very simple. We can go over to style the menu the more, go to styling and go to toggle button. Then the background color, we can now style it differently as what we have from over there. But I think it's okay to be the same thing as what we have from there. You know what to do from styling if you want to start from there. Hover effect, you give it a hover effect and all of that. The sizing, you have to increase the sizing. You want to do it from here. The border radius, you don't need all that. Border width, you don't need all that. Okay? So now, this menu we have from here, when we click on it, look at the X button there. That's the X menu we added when we actually added active menu, this one now, okay? But But when we add it from here, we are going to see something like this. We add it from here. You see the menu will change. You're going to see how the menu is going to change. When we click on that, see the menu have changed to something very bogus. See it over here. Something very bogus. We don't want that. So we want it very subtle. We want our icon to be sleek. So go find a better menu, X button, and close that down, and then find a normal menu and set that as SVG, and then this SVG. On hover, you're not going to see those options. On hover, you can give it a particular styling so that whenever you hover on it, it's going to shrink or do whatever you want it to do. See how it shrinks? And when you click on that, it appears. So now we are done with our design, but we are not done because this particular design we just did doesn't apply to anything. See how responsive we did our design? Very simple. It's not difficult. But this design is not going to apply to anything at all. Okay, until we click on publish or click on option here and click a display condition. Now I'm going to teach you display condition in depth tutorial. I'm going to have a tutorial on that. But for now, let's just do with this what we have for the menu. So once you click on publish for the first time for a menu, you are going to find this option that is asking you, where do you want this display your template? Where do you want to display your templates? So this is now where we now select. We can say that we want this particular template to include the entire site. It is telling us that we have another element which already have this header 66 is applied to all websites. So we can apply this two different menu or header menu to the same website. So what do? We want to select a specific website. So in this particular one, we say include what? Singular, which is singular page. Then we select on this. We want it to include singular what? We want it to include singular page, not singular post or singular. This is for e-commerce and all of that. So we want it to include singular page. And it will now ask us what page do we want it to include. So we select on this and we now click on all. Or we just click on, we click on home. Okay, then when we select on home, automatically we can now save. So this means that the previous menu we have will apply. Well, let's save it. Let me show you. So we are creating this on Kata Studios. So the previous menu, which is this one that have this particular YouTube icon, will apply to all pages, all of the pages. But the one we just created will apply to only the home page. So let's click on the home page and see the one we have. Perfect. You understand what's going on now? Very simple and perfect. So we now have the menu we created just now applying to the home page only. But when we get to any other page, even if it is the maintenance page, we will have the other menu apply to it. I hope you get it. So that is how to do conditioning for your menu. If you don't do this, it will not apply anywhere. So once we are done with this, the next thing we can do, and by the way, if you want to change the background color of your header, you can click on this particular menu, which is the menu we created, and click on this, then select on a background menu. Maybe you want it to be white or this particular color, whatever color you want it to be. You can apply that background menu color to it. Want it to be grayish or like dark gray like this, and we publish. Now when we publish again, it will not show us that condition. But if for instance we have done this before and we want to change the condition in the future, what we need to do is to click on this. Maybe you don't want it to apply to the home again. You want it to apply to a specific page, maybe about us. Click on this and click on display condition. To show this again, click on this and cancel on home, and then type in whatever menu you want it to apply to. Maybe they contact us. If we have any contact us, maybe you have applied to the logo page, and we click on save. Now, this is not all about conditioning. We can now add another condition. Okay, we can add for instance, for that home page that we created, that menu in the home page, you can add another condition and say exclude. We don't want this menu to show in the entire site. We can enable that and save it so that in no chances will it show in any of the pages. But once you apply a menu to show in a particular site, a page, and have a menu showing in all websites, it will only exclude automatically for that particular all of the pages and only apply to page you applied it to. Where you add exclude conditioning is when you have a menu that is only assigned to specific pages, and then you are creating a new menu to apply to other specific pages and creating a new menu to apply to other specific pages. This is where you need to exclude these other menus because there is no entire site menu. I hope you get that point very clearly. So that is it about creating our logo header for our website. Once we are done, that is not going to apply to the home page anymore. The home page is going to have our normal menu which we created initially. But when we get to the logo page, when we get to brand, we didn't even add logo here. Okay, we have logo here. We'll get to brand because we have a different menu in the other one. We are not going to have that other menu we just created. As you can see from here, we have the logo and all of that. So that is it, guys, on how to create a menu. Like I said previously, you see how custom this is, see how easy it is, and you see how responsive we make it for all of these breakpoints. And by the way, if you want to add other breakpoints, if you start creating a website, you have only 3 breakpoints: the desktop breakpoint, the tablet breakpoint, and the mobile breakpoint. You want to add all of these other breakpoints. All you need to do is to what? Hover over here and click on Site Settings. So from there, you need to click on Layouts. Scroll down till you find the breakpoint from here. Click on breakpoint, and from here you can add as much breakpoint as you want. For instance, the laptop is here. I click it, I close it. I don't want it again. I want it again. Just click on a space there, or click on the plus icon. Then you see the laptop. Then click and add the laptop. So now we add the breakpoint. You click on save. It will save your work. And to ask you to reload, you reload. You add all the menu you want. You add laptop, landscape, tablet landscape, mobile, tablet, laptop, and desktop. Okay, those are the best basic breakpoints you need to add. And once we are done and this is done loading, you can click on the X button to exit and come back to your designer. So click on the X button to exit, then you come back to your designer and proceed with your work. You are going to see all of the breakpoints you just added. Okay, so that is it for our header. In the next tutorial, like I promised, on header building, we are going to learn how to create this transparent header so that when you scroll down, it will show a different color. This is a little bit advanced, and when we scroll up, it will display, and when we get to the hero section, it will disappear the menu and show us our main header. And after that, we'll also be learning how to create a flyout menu like this, a pop-out menu like this, very beautiful and sleek menu like this with different menu and custom menus, and also adding them to the header. And after that, we are also going to learn how to create different menus for different pages. Like I've shown you instance of what that is, but we are going to learn some advanced techniques on what to do. By the way, again, my name is Manuel from Kata Studios. If you have not subscribed to this channel, subscribe, because we have a lot of stuff coming up, and these are custom design that we teach you here only. We don't teach you how to use themes or templates to build a website. And also we make websites, wonderful website, I must say. For instance, you get into our web design services. So when you come down here, you say, see all projects. It's going to take you to our web design website menu, which is the menu we are going to be adding. See, then you can see all of the previous or subsequent websites, previous websites we have done.